they start communicating the language of business and their knowledge and their content. They're like, okay, I got you. All right, now I understand why this person is successful. So you don't just end up with money, you end up with money and respect because you know your stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So which one would you rather have? To me, this one is a trap and it's temporal. This one is permanent, because when you have education, you can point it in any direction that you want, and you can stay for as long as you want. If you have to lead with fancy cars and stuff, it doesn't matter how beautiful it looks. If your team can't duplicate that, this doesn't last long. Go ahead, Matt.
I wasn't going to say anything today, but I think this is important. I've spent about 5,000 hours with Rick over the years, wouldn't you say? In the cars, one-on-one, like literally 5,000 hours. And I've had tons and tons of training. This training's amazing. This is billion-dollar training. The problem, why am I not Black Diamond right now?
Time strength.
Keep going. What else?
Fear?
No, I'm not scared. What else?
Not approaching enough, not going deep enough in your team. That as a team.
You're not applying.
Belief? No.
Application.
Keep going. Throw out a couple other things.
You're building for check match.
No. What'd you say?
Relationships.
I had a text from Rick. He sent me to his house. He knew I was in a bad place. Spent a week, he was trying to pull me out of it. I got a text from Rick this weekend, and I'm a little emotional. I've been emotional since I got that text. He asked me to come sit up with him in the white couch. And I thought about it for a second, and I said, dude, I want to, but I can't. I haven't earned it. And that hit so hard because I was the guy sitting in that couch with him. I always have been. My problem is action.
Complacent.
Daily action in applying these steps. And I mean, I know this stuff. This is not new to me. I'm still learning stuff. I'm not saying that I know everything, okay? But this stuff we've talked about and we've taught about and we teached and we drilled, and thousands of people all over the world traveled the world and taught these things, these principles, and they have not changed. Have not changed. We've added to them, we've made them better. But the problem is I got comfortable. How many people are comfortable right now? Honestly, there's not enough hands. There's not enough hands, guys.
Yep.
I got way too comfortable.
Yep.
I was falling back on other things, and I've robbed my family. I've robbed myself.
It's good, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, sir.
And so the reason why I'm so emotional is because I know I did that. I know I'm better than that. How many people feel like you're better than what you're doing right now? At least I'm not alone. I just think that you got to learn all these action steps, but you got to apply them. And I think that, that is probably the number one downfall we have in our school right now, is everybody's stuck in learning mode. Rick talks about action all the time, but I hear all the time, man, if I could just learn his acumen, if I could learn and to be like Rick. Rick sucked in the beginning. I'm telling you, I was there. I hadn't seen Frank, but Rick sucked. I was there at his first major meeting that we did. It was horrible. I'm thinking,
Of course it was.
yes.
All of ours were.
But I started thinking all weekend about my past with what I did and how I got to where I got. What did I do differently than I'm doing now? And it's action. Action. We're talking massive action. so much action that we forgot to eat. We forgot to pay our bills. I've said this before, but I'm telling you, massive action. I would get up in the morning, we'd meet at my office, Rick would be there, we'd have his coffee, and he's like, okay, bro, let's go. And we'd spend all day meeting after meeting, three-way call, after this, after that, after this, after this. You know what my day looks like right now? It's ridiculous. I think I'm on vacation. It's a joke.
Good, Matt.
Good stuff.
You know? And I keep wondering, man, everybody keeps asking me, hey, when are you going to hit diamond? I'm like, yeah, I'll get there, but I haven't had that passion yet. This weekend, man, I'm telling you, I probably got like 4 hours of sleep last night. I was laying in bed last night, and I kept replaying over and over, why am I not on that couch with Rick? Why am I not on that couch with Rick? I'm trying to dig deep inside. And you know what? I hear this stuff all the time, like, you gotta want it so bad. You gotta want it. And I haven't wanted it yet. But this weekend, and it was the dumbest text ever. It's like my friend wanting me to come hang out with him. No. I didn't earn it. A month ago, I would have hopped on that couch and go, yeah, I'm on this couch. Yeah, I know this stuff. I've been a diamond before. I've made millions of dollars in this industry. Yeah, I deserve it. Hell no, I've been sitting in the back all weekend long and going, okay, I am not deserving of any of this. And so I apologize to each and every one of you that I haven't done better.
Thank you, Matt.
And I'm going to... This is not what I'm looking for. I feel like I'm leaving wisdom on the table for some people. Because you know what? Rick's got a lot of experience in a lot of ways, and Frank does as well. And so does Kim. And Duty. And a lot of the leaders here. A lot of wisdom. But I've lived a different path than all of them. We all live different paths. And there's stuff that I can show you that I haven't been able to because I haven't got to where I need to go. And so I want to make this promise to you guys. I'm going to start really working, like, going for it. But I don't just want...
Yeah, I'm so excited.
She's been harassing me literally for 2.5 years about beating me to everything. And I was like, cool, I've already been there, that's nice. Haven't I said that? Kind of, it was like not...
I mean, at first it was fun, but now I'm
I know.
fighting tears because I feel bad.
No, you don't need to feel bad. No, I mean, honestly, have you ever heard of E.T., you know? He's got that one video, man. You got to watch it. It's about the guy walks up to Guru and says, "Hey, I want to learn everything." And he says, "Show up at the beach at like 4 a.m." I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And he shows up at the beach, and they go and they start walking in the water, and how much further? And he goes, "Keep going. You got to keep going till you cannot breathe." That's how badly you got to want it in order to make it in this business.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to want it so bad, it's got to hurt. And I hear a lot of your guys' stories, and I know everybody's got a different thing going on in their life. We all do. And not everybody is at that season in their life to want it so badly that they want to hurt for it. And I'm not saying that you have to hurt, because this business is amazing. It is going to continue to pay you. It will give you what you go and get. It will give that to you. If you go get it, it will give it to you. That's the thing that I know for a fact. And all these guys that have earned large checks, Rick works constantly. I give him a hard time because he has time for the batting cages and things like that. But he's constantly, if he's not on the phone, he's not doing three-way calls, or he's not answering your calls or whatever else, he's constantly learning.
Yes.
And you would think, why would a guy like that, Rick, he's a black diamond now, and he's made millions in this industry, and he's done a bunch. Why is he continually trying? You know, if you go to his house in the morning, besides the coffee maker is the first thing, and he has his grinder thing that wakes everybody up. Yeah. The first thing that goes on in his house is E.T. on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He's still learning. He's still diving. He's still going. And I want you guys to do that as well. But the school, you've got to be plugged in. But without action, it means nothing. And that's my problem. Is I have not put enough action into work.
Not just you, Matt.
So, and some people it's going to take a little longer because they've got a little longer road, and that's okay. This isn't like an overnight success. I'm not expecting, to be diamond in 2 months. What I'm expecting is to be better,
That's good, Matt. That's good.
and you guys should do that as well.
Matt, first of all, I'm gonna step down and give you a hug. I take my hat off and down and respect anybody that tells the truth and admit the truth. That's a big man to me. How many understand what I'm talking about? Once again, now he talked about action. What's going to move us to action? Most all the wealthy people I know, a few, couple, they're still hungry. Piku, the president, is one of my good friends and one of Rick's good friends. Stupid wealthy. Very wealthy. You know what he said? He says, either you're just like me or I'm just like you. We both work like we don't know where our next plate of food's coming from.
Yeah.
That may be non-relatable to you. Now think about it. We've had our freedom for 25 years. What does that mean? Do what you want, when you want, how you want to do it, with the people you want to do it, the style you want to do it in. We've had that freedom for 25 years. I still work like I don't know when my next meal's coming from. That's the trait of the super wealthy. And then, hold on, Kimmy, because I want to share one thing about action. See, we can have it, and we can make that decision. But what I've learned all the time, see, what is the definition of success? See, so many of us think success is a destination. Me and my wife, we still live in the same house we paid $68,000 for. Now, we own 4, 5, 6 houses. But we still live in the same house. We put $200,000 in the backyard in a swimming pool. There's not a house in our subdivision that's $200,000. We still live in the same house we paid $68,000 for. I personally drive a truck. It's several years old. Have 13 different vehicles, but still, I personally drive a truck that's got many years old on it. Don't buy our kids new vehicles. We won't co-sign for our kids. Wealthy don't do that. It'll cost you.
Mm-hmm.
Wealthy people don't do that. It'll cost you. But what's going to move? Here's the definition of success. It is a progressive realization of worthwhile dreams.
Write that down.
Success is a progressive realization of worthwhile dreams. Not worthwhile to me, worthwhile to you. Here's what that means.
Can you say it one more time, sorry?
Success,
Realization.
Success is the progressive realization of worthwhile dreams. Now let me tell you what that means. That means you never, ever get there. What do you think of Buffett? You think I promise you, he looks at the stocks, he looks at everything 7 days a week. Go read some stuff about it. Go read the stuff about Gates. The couple of the billionaires or 400 wealthiest people in the world that I'm confident to. Are you ready? They work every day of the week. They're still hungry. So in other words, it's a progressive, so it continues and it continues to increase. Now, how do we move into action? How do we move into action? Are you ready? There's got to be something more in life that we want that we're not able to get doing what we're doing right now.
period.
The dream.
End of discussion. In other words, we're not complacent. We're not satisfied.
Uninspired.
Why does Rick study? Are you ready? Why does he do new things? Because Rick is not increasing himself in one dimension. He's increasing himself in multi-dimensions of life. Which, what does that do? Increase his capacity to earn. Here's how you wear yourself out, and this will become a job, and you'll hate it. You know, I know guys that have made $50 million in this industry and hate it. They're no longer even in it. You ready? Because they lost their joy of why they're doing what they're doing. They've lost their joy why they're doing what they're doing. You say, I can never believe it. You don't have to worry, they're my friends. So you know what? I couldn't spell it. But you're either going to focus on one of these two things. Your effort or your rewards. I promise you. You're going to focus on one of them too. And I can tell you this. If you always talk about how much you're doing, do you know none of you know what I do in this business? Never talk about it. It's nobody's business. But I tell you, sometimes I'm on the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, my time, midnight, Rick's time. He's answering the phone, I'm answering the phone. Is this true, big guy? We have our best conversations after midnight, his time, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. Best conversations.
Because every time he says, watch this, I'm like, okay, what is it?
No, I don't even realize I say it.
True story.
True story. But the truth, listen. So if you're always talking about how much you're doing, I know you're not moving on. Because you're going to wear yourself out. How do I stay so still inspired and motivated all these decades when I've had my freedom for 25 years?
Yeah, I agree.
Because success is the progressive realization of worthwhile dreams. See, I can say this, right, wrong, or indifferent. I did not come, and what Rick said on the stages yesterday, I did not come here for the money. I was friends with Dow. I'm the guy when there was no company, no name, nothing. I'm the one, I've said it with him in the room. I said, we were praying one morning, get on the phone, 6:30. His time in the morning, 8:30 my time. I said, God's bringing you something. I don't know if it's network, I don't know what is he bringing you something. Because we were going to do some things to help grow and build people outside of this industry when he stepped away. Because you know what? He said, I want to do what I've seen you and your wife do. Back then it was the last 12 years. So they flew to Florida to meet us. I said, say me and you do this, and we don't make a dime. Me and you don't make a dime. Could you be fulfilled, sir? Why ask him a question? That's what the Lord told me to ask him. I just say, we only build a $50 million a year company. Could you be fulfilled? He said, all I want to do is go bless 1 million lives. I said, don't ever say that because you're limiting God. I've even stopped him publicly and said, never say 1 million. Because then you're limited to King. And I'm not interested in doing anything that limits the King. There was no name, no product, no nothing. What we want to do is we want people to experience what me and my wife have had the privilege and honor to experience for the last 25 years. That's what we want. It's no happenstance, you know, me and Dallin laugh about it, that the first 11 and a half months we did $49.3 or $49.7 million. Dallin didn't look at the effort it was going to take to start a company. It is? Where? Oh, there it is. I can see, you don't even have to know where the pin is in your britches. You'll find somebody to tell you. So watch this. Are you going to be reward focused? Or are you going to be effort focused? And here, if you focus on your rewards, you'll get them. If you focus on the effort, you'll never get them. It will wear you out. That's how I've always stayed inspired. That's how I've always stayed engaged. And that's how I've always stayed motivated. Because here's what I know. That every day I choose to get up and win. People always ask me, how you doing? Winning. You tired? You want to win more? That's what life's about, winning. And teaching other people how to win. Me and the redhead, we always focus, we always talk about where we're going.
Stop, don't just stay, don't turn. Okay, so everything he's talking about is right here. That's the 1%. What he's saying is the philosophy of the 1%. The 1% don't do it for the money. Can you see that? You want the money, you deserve the money. That's not where the heart of the matter is. You see that? That's what he's saying, describing the 1%. You can't keep up with the 1%. Because they're not doing it for the money. You have to become it. You have to find joy in it. You have to be driven by something stronger called purpose. Why do you run, bro? Why do you jump? Why do you do what you do? How are you the 1%? Purpose. You do it because you love it. Have to find that place where it becomes so rewarding that it's no longer about the money.
I want to ask him a question, Rick. I ain't never asked him a question, but I know he can't outrun me or outjump me. Bet on me, I'm gonna win. I've never asked him this question, but I know he's from the Bahamas. I got bunches of friends in the Bahamas. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna ask him a question right in front of all you. If you don't like his answer, get mad at him and say that's fair. Now, and I just talked about the effort and the rewards. You've trained since, I asked him the other day, I said, how long, when did you start? He says, was it 5?
5 years old.
5 years old. Now, none of you, I don't want him to tell you how old he is because none of you will guess his age. But he's competed in 4 Olympics. Is that right? It wasn't.
4 Olympics, yes.
And he already knows he's gonna make the 5th one because you know why? He's already speaking it. Ooh. And even here, Gibby, he's already speaking it. He spoke it to me. He wasn't speaking it to break. It was just me and him talking. True story? Let me ask you a question. So since you were 5 to now, all that training, this, that, and the other, and all them years, he wasn't making a dime. Is that true? You didn't give us.
It wasn't about that.
I want to watch this. Let me ask you this. Were you focused on all the early mornings, all the things you missed, and all the work you had to put in, or were you focused on where you wanted to go and who you wanted to become?
If I was focused on, no, not at all. I was just doing something that I love, and that was just it, and doing it for my family.
Did you hear that?
The reward.
He wasn't looking at the pain. He wasn't looking at the trips he missed when the people was out going to dinner and he was out training. He was focusing on his family and why he was doing it. Is that true, sir?
Yes, it is, and love for country, love for my country. Yeah.
Do you see the difference? Now watch this. We're talking in the business realm. You're talking about a world-class athlete, the 1%. Rick's talking about what we're trying to teach you is the 1% of life in business. The principles still work, regardless. Athletes or business. Why? Principles govern it all. Would you agree, sir?
Totally agree.
Now think about that. A lifelong dedication to training, all free. One day hope and believe, take hope out, believing he'd get to a point where he could make money doing it.
Right.
So it better his family.
Yeah.
So in other words, his whole life he's focused on his dream.
Yeah. I can tell you something.
Go ahead.
So when I don't know if all of you were there when I told my story of the injury. When I went down in the pit and I saw my kneecap was on my thigh, and the first thing I could think of is I need to get back up. My country is depending on me for this one medal. And if you look at the Bahamas is, you know, we have 300,000 people. You know, that's all we are made up of. And I know I had a whole nation on my back, depending on me to bring home this medal. Because at the time, we didn't have a medal yet, and we were down to only 2 events, which was the triple jump and the 4x4 100 meters. And so, you know, all of my teammates have already finished competing. We left, but we had no medals yet, no medals. And so I've been in this situation before, and so I loved when, you know, my back against the wall. I love pressure, and so I compete better that way. And like I say, I was in the best shape of my life. I knew I was going to win the medal. You just know, you know. I prayed and I really asked God for this, and I just had a feeling that this is my time. You know, I won the bronze 4 years ago. The 2 guys who were there, the 2 guys who had beat me 4 years prior to this event, they weren't even there. So I knew I was the favorite to win. And a lot of times you want to know why things happen. And you know, you kind of want to question God to be like, hey, why now? You know, at the Olympics? Come on. Why not after the Olympics? Let me win the gold first. You know, I want to just win the gold. I worked so hard. I won the bronze. I won numerous bronze medals, gold medals. But you know, everybody trained for the Olympic gold. You know, and it didn't happen there. And so now, you know, we all, like I said, we always want to know why things happen. But this is why it happened. For me to come up here and tell you my story.
Isn't it amazing? Take that same mindset, that same spirit, and that same heart, and apply it. That same mindset. He could have listened to the doctors. He would never be going to his 5th Olympics. Because it was probably looked like he would not come back from that injury. But he said, no. I'm not going to listen to that. Hold on a minute. There it is. What words are you speaking to yourself that you're listening to? See, he was speaking words to himself that probably very few, if any, were speaking. Is that true, sir? So then, yeah. What words are you speaking to you? Because he spoke the right words, and he believed, and he put action behind his belief, and he stayed focused because he wants to do it for his country and for his family, which is his dream. He's went through all the hell, all the pain, all the effort that most people would still lay down in that box, sir. To become the 1%. And it started by him saying it. Do you know you can change your purpose and your destiny right here? The most powerful thing you have is this. It's the rudder of the ship, baby. So what he's lived his life on is exactly what we're sharing with you.
Have you guys ever noticed that 1%ers are also extremists? I said earlier, you should be able to set aside 3 hours a week, Wednesday, Friday, 4 hours a week, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, for business school. Rick does 45 hours a day. Right?
A week. A week.
You do 45 hours a day or a week?
No, he studies 4 or 5 hours a day.
That's what I was saying, 4 to 5 hours a day studying.
He said 45.
It sounded like 45.
Oh, sorry, 0.25, I'll speak more clearly. And I don't know if this is gonna help anybody, but this is a chapter that I learned very, very recently after you guys watched that I Cheated Facebook Live. This is a revelation that I had, is there was a part of me that did get comfortable. And one of the things that I hope I never get exposed to, that Rick pointed out to me probably a week and a half ago, he said, Kim, what you have isn't normal. Because normally people go up like this, and then they go down like this. You've just continued to do this. You get paychecks every single week. You get really comfortable very easily. An extremist will always put themselves in uncomfortable situations on purpose to expand their capacity because they're chasing more than just money. So I decided to do that, and I drained my whole bank account. Let me tell you what, when you got something really nice sitting in there and you get to look at that every day, and then you wipe it out. I'm not telling you to go clean out your bank account. This was just something I needed to do. It kicked that into gear again. And all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta go recruit somebody. I gotta go make calls again. Who's that one girl I talked to 2 months ago? Like, she reached out to me and I never followed up because I wasn't hungry, because I wasn't taking action, as Matt Williams said. Now what could get you to do that? 99% of the people that I tell to go do this, they don't do it. You guys have heard me say this 5 different times before and you still haven't done it. Shame on you. And that's what my mentor said to me when I told him that I wasn't gonna do that because that sounds crazy. And he said, shame on you. And that was to go sit in a dream car. There's a couple of people that said, Kim, no, that's not really like my thing. Cars aren't my thing. Okay, go walk through a $5 million house. Go try on a Harry Winston ring. Or Tiffany's, whatever suits your fancy. For Frank, he still walks through $1 million motor coaches like once a month. And he can go and buy one every month, probably, if you want. Maybe you could.
It's always about stimulating.
It's always about stimulating the mind. And he came to town May 4th. We were sitting in the car, 9 o'clock at night. It's raining. We're at Torrey Pines Lodge. And I'm bawling my eyes out. He goes, Kimmy, when was the last time you went and sat in that car? I'm like, when you told me to 2 years ago. Shame on you, go sit in that car. And here's why. It stimulates you. Your brain needs to be stimulated. Your senses need to be stimulated.
You just said it, Kim. It has to connect. We were built, not here, we were built for our senses. What we can feel, what we can touch, we can do that. It has to watch, all the connectivity is through your senses. When my wife comes up behind me and she touches me, I know her touch from anybody's on the planet. How many understand what I'm talking